What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building Cato Neimoidia in LEGO. This week I'm going to be making more progress on the city, doing some more building stuff, but this week I would like to focus on some of the smaller areas of the city because I can't put buildings directly next to each other all across each side. So there's these little patches of blank spaces that aren't big enough for a building but aren't small enough to just leave vacant. So I need to put stuff there. I'm going to be trying to figure out what can go there that will add detail as well as help, tell more of a story and just make the city look more realistic. So I'm thinking, mini gardens, little power grid sections, little maintenance areas, kind of little balconies, hangout areas. All in all, it should be a good week. If you guys are excited to see what's going to be going down, don't forget to go down and smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. All that being said, let's get to work. So first thing I'm going to do this week is kind of lay out the rest of the city. All of these buildings are built up above, the streets just to help. I just wanted to do this to help put a little bit of distance between the buildings and the road. Because the city was so small, I didn't want everything, to be kind of conjoined onto one plane. So I wanted to raise them up. So what I'm doing now is just laying out the frames for a couple of buildings. I've got a couple of apartment buildings I'm planning. I want to put some kind of wide building next to where I am currently building. And then I'm putting down those tiles to create another little flat space where I can put some more of those pearl gold towers. Up here in this other section where I'm working, I'm going to be putting like a little maintenance area because that large building with the vents and the pipes is some kind of like power generator. So I figured it'd be cool to have something built onto the side of that, maybe like some computers and some kind of shut off valve with a little fenced off area. So I've got most of the foundations in place. There are a couple spots where I'm unsure of what's going to happen, namely right here, here. I think it's just those two spots, and then this little section right here. So originally I was going to put like a garden or something right here, but then I realized it's next to this generator looking thing, which, is probably going to be loud with fans and pipes running. So I don't want to put a garden directly next to that. So I don't know what's going to go here because it's really small. You know what I might do? I honestly might just put like a bunch of pipes and wires and cables and like a little computer, just like some kind of like little power grid, computer, technical station, whatever you want to call it, that, runs this or, allows you to shut things down. I don't know. That'll probably look cool though if that goes in right there. Right here, I'm going to have another one of these apartment buildings, and then I'm going to have another one across from it. So there'll be one right here, one right there, and then I'm going to have like a little sky bridge in between the two connecting them, which I think will be cool. And then I've got another little flat section right here like I do here, and I'm going to be putting in some more of these towers. They go nicely in between taller buildings like that. Here, probably some other kind of building like this, and that should account for most of it other than these two spots. If you guys have any suggestions for what you think would be cool in either of those spots, shoot me a comment down below. It can't be too big, obviously, because they're not huge spots, but something fun could go there. I was also able to get some more work done on this. I found some more parts. I'm pretty low on dark bluish gray parts. Hopefully I can get another apartment building put in, but if not, I can always work on these smaller little sections until more parts come in. I will be adding another little patio right here like I did over here on this side. And of course I have a haul for you guys. So I got more of these pearl gold tire rims in for more of these towers. I am going to need to order some more of these cones. Got some more of these pieces. I used a bunch on this building, so it'll be nice to have some more of those. And then just more random pearl gold greebling and other random pieces. We've got some tile, some cones. That's for Cato Neimoidia, but I got some more dark bluish gray bricks in there. And then I got these pipes. So these pipes are actually going to run along the side of the city. I don't want to get into too much detail on what's going to go on there because I don't want to confuse anyone. But they're going to be running along there and holding up like a little wall that's going to cover this side of the city in all these random colors. Let's see what else I got here. More pearl gold. And then I got a bunch of tiles. These will help me to tile off, this little area where this road's going to be. I have to put some tile down or something here. I don't know what's going to happen up here. I think what I want to do is build the section that's going to hold the cable, because the cables connect to the bottom of the city right here, but they're going to need to connect on top of the city as well. So I want to build like a large chunk right here, and then figure out what's going to go around that after that. I did get in some more dark bluish gray, which is good. I should be able to finish most of this building off now. And then just more random pieces for Cato Neimoidia. All in all, this should set me up to have a pretty solid week. Hopefully I can get a lot of progress done. Really pushing it, trying to get as much of the city done by the end of the year as possible. So now it's time to get to work on that little maintenance area. I'm not thinking anything too fancy. I'm just gonna put like a little wall with some gold greebling on top of that just to stick with the theme of the city. And then back behind that, kind of connected to the building, I'm gonna put like a little computer with some kind of like shut off or turn on valve, just something, that gives the vibe of like, this is a little maintenance area. This is where you come to either work on the building, work on the pipes, vents, see how everything's going, make sure everything's running fine. And if there's any emergency or stuff needs to be shut off, then you can do it here as well. I also need to finish the little section on the other side of the road from the maintenance area. I'm not going to do anything fancy here. It's too small to do anything, so I'm just going to tile it off. I think that'll look nice, and because it'll be raised up a little bit, I think it'll just add a little bit more detail to the city and make it look a little bit better. All right, here's some more progress for you guys. I got this building all finished. It looks pretty good. So it is a little bit different from this first building. You can see this first building has some grill pieces on the top as well as some gold slopes. This one's got a little bit different of a pattern on top. I did this for a couple of reasons. The first is I ran out of all of these parts, so I didn't have any to put over there. And I wanted to, make the building a little bit different. Even though I'm using the same building structure multiple times, I want to try and mix up as much of the finer details as I can, just add a little bit more variation to the city area. I also put in this little side patio for this future apartment building, and then I added in this little section right here. So this is going to be like a small garden area. This being such a fancy, high society place for, wealthy Neimoidians, I wanted to put as much greenery and as much plants as I could. So I think this will look good right here, maybe like a little tree and some plants next to it. And then another thing I did was I built this little power grid area, or whatever you want to call it, you guys saw me building this on the time lapse. Basically what it is it connects into this power generator. You can see I've got like a little computer there as well as a keypad down underneath that. And then next to it, we have an emergency shut off or emergency release. They can just twist that. I feel like it looks pretty cool. I didn't have a ton of space, but I feel like I was able to utilize the space I had pretty well. I've got like a little gold fence running around it, fencing it off. Again, this being such a nice place, I figured, they probably wouldn't have too much security here, so there isn't even a door, just a little opening to walk in right there. One last thing to show you guys, I changed up the roofs of these apartments a little bit, so you can see this one has a bunch of these miniature Lego people as like little statues. I just put these on here to add some extra detail, and then over here I put some more spires on. Originally this was all flat, just a bunch of these tiles, but I wanted to make it look a little bit more like this. And looking at reference material for Cato Neimoidia, I noticed a lot of the buildings had a lot of spires. There were just a lot of spires, towers, spikes, and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and incorporate more of those moving forward. All that being said, that's pretty much everything I have to show you guys for this little update. Here's the last thing I'm going to show you for the week. I got this building finished, so I didn't have this front wall done. Basically what I did is I just matched the same color scheme and design on the sides and the back. And then on the front here, I put a little door. This door doesn't open, obviously, but I did put a line. I did place the tile so it looks like there's a seam right there, so the door could open on either side like that. And then I put this little dark bluish gray kind of arch thing just to make it look a little bit fancier, these doors have a little bit of an angle to them as well, so kind of wanted to keep that similar aesthetic. All that being said, I had a pretty good week this week. I got a lot of the city laid out. I do have a lot of work ahead of me if I want to get this all finished by the end of the year, but I do have a lot of parts that came in, so I should be able to get a pretty good chunk of this done. I think what I'm going to do next is take a break from building the buildings and kind of figure out what's going to be happening up here in this section, because I wasn't planning to put any buildings, but I will have that section that's going to hold the city up, and so I want to decide what I'm going to put on either side right there. Also, I think I forgot to show you, this is what the little deck or lawn chairs look like. They've got this little pearl gold pad underneath that kind of holds them up, so it looks like they're floating a little bit. They're nothing too fancy, but I feel like they match the aesthetic pretty nicely and they look pretty cool. I've got another one right here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. That wraps up another week and it's time to hit the outro. Hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Cato Neimoidia. I have my work cut out for me if I want to finish this by the end of the year, but I have a lot of parts in. I have some free time as I have some time off from work, so I should be able to make some pretty cool stuff happen next week. I'll probably be doing some live streams this coming week of working on Cato Neimoidia. I know I've got some TIE fighters I'm going to be building, maybe some Geonosis work. All in all, I've got some good stuff coming up. But don't forget to let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments. And I will catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.